I am here with Dan Ireton, Associate Professor and Academic Services Librarian. Welcome to Conversations with Professors. It's a working title. Thank you for being my show.
Thank you for having me.
When people think about libraries, they picture a place where they can find books, check them out, and return them. But it's so much more than that. One of the remarkable aspects of the work of librarians is the community development. Can you tell us about a project where you incorporate technology in order to help build a community?
Sure. Yeah, I can. I would probably start by talking about an alternate reality game, sometimes called a transmedia experience that I created with some colleagues here at K-State surrounding the 2013 Common Read, which was Ready Player One. And we created a game surrounding that did incorporate some technologies into it.
Can you tell us what kind of technologies were you able to integrate in this project?
Sure. So an alternate reality game it's distinct from other types of gaming in that it is well, I mentioned transmedia, so it's happening in multiple spaces, both physical and virtual. And what this game was sort of designed to do, kind of what you mentioned about creating community. This wasn't part of necessarily an assignment, but was part of a community building experience that anyone at K-State could be a part of, and thus learn a little bit more about campus, some of the services that students may need to access. And also discovering other experiences on campus with the libraries as kind of a cultural hub. So technology specifically, what we involved, this utilized a scoreboard that was online, and it was made with several different technologies, and it sort of began with us as the designers approaching an instructor at the time on campus named Nathan Bean, who was teaching a computer science course. And what he did was actually give his students some basic instructions for how he wanted it designed, that students who were players in the game would be able to log on to a K-State website using their EID and password, so using the campus single sign-on technology. They built it in a program called Ruby on Rails, and the front-facing aspect, so the aspect that would appear on a student's screen when they logged in, was made in Drupal. Another, just a programming technology for the web. And so it was like the students were designing a web page for us as the clients. And then after we picked a winner, Nathan used this website and its overall design elements, and then made some little changes and tweaks to it so it could be functioning. This was designed in the spring of 2013, and then fall 2013 it was ready and we were able to roll it out.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so it actually took quite a bit of doing to get it, because of course we had to go through the Office of Mediated Education here on campus, because it was a website using a K-State address, IP address and domain, yes. So we went through all the proper channels there. We actually used a sort of secondary website. There's a platform that we use for all sorts of programming in the libraries called LibGuides, and that is typically a way that we can build resources for different classes, or sometimes sort of broad overarching subjects. So for example, a lot of the LibGuides that I build might be for a specific class, or for instance, I have one that I've built for Introduction to Theatrical Design, which is a theater class. I used that platform to create a collection of puzzles and riddles and sort of instructions for players to play the game, and then when they completed an experience or had an answer, they would submit those in the first website I described, the scoreboard.
So you mean like puzzles and riddles online that the students get access to, and then they can answer them online and share them in this website?
Yeah, with those, and also, so I mentioned also real world spaces. So the live guide was essentially like online riddles and puzzles, like it said, and then say we wanted students to all at some point discover the Academic Assistance Center. So there would be a clue that they would find online, which would direct them to go to that office, and there they would find a code that they could then go into the scoreboard website, enter in that code, and it would register their unique EID and whatever name they'd selected for themselves, and score points for it.
So, like a scavenger hunt?
Yeah, that's actually a good way to think about it. It's like a scavenger hunt where you're finding different codes or solving riddles, but also going to certain campus events, code that they could discover there, and so yeah, in a variety of different experiences that they could score points. And then our game winner got to meet Ernest Cline, who was the author of the book.
Yeah. Can you tell me what were the promises, the challenges about bringing this technology into practice?
As I said, we had to work with a number of students, and so we were working well in advance to make sure that we had something that we could launch as a website. We had to go through a lot of kind of administrative hoops to get permission to use this. Because this was something that was built in-house, there were some bugs that had to be worked out. Once during the first week of the game, which took place over about a month and a half, in that fall of 2013, the entire scoreboard website crashed, and we had to reboot it. And what we did to kind of sort of make it as though it were part of the game experience was that we went in, and anybody who had already signed up for the game and had potentially had some damage to their score, we went in and added a new event into the scoreboard for those who were already signed up. That was, I survived the website crash, and gave them some points for having been a part of it that early on.
Okay, so tell me, at the end of this project, did you consider that it was a success or a failure, and why? What did you do later?
We considered it overall a success. Our objective with this, because it was a sort of voluntary experience. No one had to sign up for a class. In no way was it ever a requirement, because that, in a lot of ways, that kind of spoils the effect of it being a game.
Sure.
And the whole thing was designed with an idea in mind that of improving retention, because students who become more familiar with their campus and through playing the game meet other players, would make some friends from one semester to the next. Wow. Big indicator of success, and we had over 1,000 students total. Well, I say students, I should say campus participants, because it was open not just to students but also faculty and quite a few that did sign up. We were able to take some interview data and some survey data and got some really good impressions from the students that participated. And this eventually turned into an article and a poster and actually a few presentations. We gave a couple of presentations about this in a number of different contexts and conferences that were related to education, particularly related to games in education, technology in education, and student engagement and outreach.
Wow, I really love how this project encompassed integrating technology and having a collaborative approach. And it sounds really fun. I mean, I would be interested to play that. It gives you a way to make friends. So
we were very happy with how it turned out, and it led to quite a bit of success for us.
All right, well, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for having me.